don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
Real news about real topics. That's what I like about this show.
Or mode for the most sincerest expression.
So it's truth and jest. I pride myself on saying real
What they don't tell you podcast.
People don't even notice I'm saying.
I'm just using your gifts as a vehicle.
They can feel it, but I don't think they really know. But they feel it, because when people come up to me, they say it. I love that.
I was looking for advice from people in the industry how to not have to compromise.
Ooh, boy, it's hard to be woke. What they don't tell you podcast.
How do I do this without having to compromise who I am, what I represent?
What's up, world, and welcome to another episode of What They Don't Tell You Podcast. We are your hosts, DJ Mifflin,
Keisha Williams,
and Keith Vance,
and we are the B Squad. That's right, BE standing for Black Entertainers, who are telling you to be excellent, be encouraged, and just be who you want to be. Hey, listen, we got a great show for you today. We want to thank you for joining us on Live 365 on Anthem Tongue Radio, and you can catch us Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, and 6 p.m. international, all right? Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. We got some very important things to talk about, okay? So just stay tuned, and here we go. B Squad in the building.
Squad. Yo, we really appreciate all you guys listening, and you know we want to hear back from you. Hit us up at WTDTY Global at Facebook.
All right, and we're back to the thankful segment on What They Don't Tell You podcast. We actually want to do this a little different. We want to talk about what we're thankful for, but dealing with the situations that's going on right now, we want to kind of, put it in perspective. So I want to say, Keisha, first, just explain to me what you're thankful for right now in this time.
Right now, I think I would say that I'm thankful for having allies. So when I say allies, I'm just thinking of the people that, they may not live the same life as me, but they still take the time to understand where I'm coming from. When I'm hurt, when I'm in pain, just to hear like my mental process, and then in exchange to be able to give me theirs, and because of that exchange, like, we can speak on each other's behalf. I'm really thankful to have people like that in my life.
Good. All right, Keith, what about you, man? What you thankful about?
Man, this week, man, I'm totally thankful for my family and my friends. I've checked in with a lot of people. Everybody's safe. Everybody's, keeping their head on a swivel. And, making sure that we're doing this the right way. And I'm just happy that, my friends and family are safe throughout everything going on from, pretty much all of 2020. So I'm really happy for that everyone is safe and still doing okay,
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm thankful for not just my family being okay, but I'm thankful for knowledge. I'm thankful for access to it, because dealing in the world that we're dealing with, a lot of times, a lot of things can be misconstrued, could be cover-ups, could be ignored. So I'm just glad the fact that the knowledge that I have to understand what we're dealing with as I get older, as wisdom kicks in, I'm just thankful for that, man, because a lot of people I'm noticing are out here have no clue what's going on and what's about to happen. And a lot of people are in fear, and that's another thing I'm thankful for. Not being afraid to speak my mind, not being afraid to stand up for what I believe in,
right?
Not being afraid to get my son right for what's about to happen for him as he gets older. Because as we see right now, man, it's a rude awakening coming. And we see it in our streets, we see it on our television, we see it in our community, we see it everywhere. And that's what I'm thankful for. So that's what we're thankful for today on our thankful segment. You guys stay tuned, okay? Keisha's coming with that business right here on What They Don't Tell You podcast. B Squad's in the building.
What they don't podcast.
This is the business with Keisha Williams.
This is Keisha Williams with the business. Be enriched, be educated, and be excellent. My topic for you all today is really a combination of things, but really looking specifically at the psychology of COVID. So when I'm talking about the psychology of COVID, I'm talking about the mental effects of what this disease has done to people, to community, to culture. I've been reading all of these different articles, and one of the articles that was really, I guess, kind of resonated with me is that when this whole thing began, there was a story that was told as far as like the origin of the virus. And understanding the origin of the virus and them saying that it came from China seemed like something I want to believe was just innocent, right? But through the psychology of that being released, there are now all of these articles, and I'm sure there were those before, all of these articles about the attacks on the Asian community. Not just Chinese, but Japanese, Vietnamese, Asian Americans, East Asians, all of these different people who appear to be what they believe.
Like actual physical attacks or verbal or?
Both. You know, it started off simple,
both.
you know, people being yelled at, like just going to the grocery store and across the street. Sometimes they're being
no one's been killed
videotaped.
behind it, though.
Right.
I know people have been stabbed.
Wow.
There's
got
actually
stabbed
reports
because
of like
of it?
being stabbing,
wow.
That's
of
crazy.
being prejudiced. And these prejudices escalating, you know, the fact that it would start with you just walking down the street, going to the grocery store, and someone yelling at you. You being in the grocery store. There's a story of an elderly couple in the grocery store, and someone else coming by and spraying them with either Lysol or air freshener, and, you know, accusing them of being the root.
We're not being logical out here, man, about what's going on. We're just mad, and we just react to whatever we want to react to, not understanding the true narrative of it all. You know what I mean? Like,
but I understand what you're saying. You're saying like it's becoming like mental health almost. Like there's trigger words, and like I just don't understand how it could have gotten to that point.
Right. I mean,
Absolutely.
But I mean, it's in everything. I mean, we've seen this for years now, where we've dealt with when it comes to these type of topics, how people just react and don't think, how they don't try to compromise.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and what I think is what's even harder is this is affecting people who, you know, it's literally anti-Asian kind of Semitism almost happening, where it's people that you could have grown up with. I mean, some of the states that would have been reported these issues were already in New York, California, Texas, and there's an article, in the article that I'm reading, there's actually a woman who says that she came here 5 years ago. She's like, my goal was to adapt to American culture as soon as possible. Then the pandemic happened, and it made me realize that because I am Asian, and because of how I look or where I was born, I could never become one of them.
Wow. Racism in America.
So powerful. Like,
Right.
it's just so powerful. And it's not just in America. Like, these things are happening all
Everywhere.
over the world, you know?
I mean, we even see it what countries doing to their own people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's an epidemic. It's a mental epidemic, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
What'd
once
you say?
again, it's about,
more-
and
but
once
would you
again, I'll
say-
say
I
it's
would
about
think
power.
A lot of this is mental. Really, like I think a lot of what's happening this year in total, it's to mess with people's psyche.
Right.
I mean, if you look at, you know, how suicide and depression has all
True.
kind of gone, it's been on the up.
Yeah.
You know, like, or people needing some type of medication.
Alcoholism, substance abuse.
Especially
Yeah.
like after this whole locking everyone in their house that long.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I've been out there and I've been seeing it. People are like, they're kind of starting to lose it, you know,
Yeah,
because they're
yeah.
just, they don't know what's coming next. You know?
Right. And like I said before, I feel like it's not just about racism. You know what I mean?
Not
Like,
at
I
all.
feel like it's about power. It's about class, because even though we see it happening to one main race, it's something that if we really do our homework and we really look at, it's about power and wealth. It's about control. It's about
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, class. Like,
They have to keep us divided.
Come
DJ.
on, man.
That is the main thing I think this is all about. If they can
Right.
keep us divided as people, then they can keep it to where they have it.
right.
I love the way that people are starting to stand up.
I
for
see.
each
I was
other.
gonna say, and that's what's
Absolutely.
scaring them, because we're coming together, man. You got white people looking out for black people. You got civilians looking out for cops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got
True.
cops standing up against bad cops. You got
Yeah.
it's
We're getting there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a change coming,
that
man.
pot's boiling over.
Yeah.
That pot's
yeah.
boiling over, y'all.
Right.
Yep.
And now you can't sell us bullcrap no more. Now you can't say, oh, they were criminals, or he has a record, so you know that the way they treated him was nah, we ain't trying to hear none of that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? It's about you abusing your authority.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's really about getting to justice,
right?
Getting to a resolution, right. Trying to end all of this pain, and I feel like the best way to do that is really where we're already headed, I hope, which is becoming a real community. People who are actually looking out for one another,
right?
Who actually want to see, regardless of who you are, it's not just about me as a person and the race or the religion that I subscribe to,
right?
It's about actually pushing the boundaries forward to make sure that we as people,
right.
period, make progress.
Right.
So this has been Keisha Williams with The Bee's Nest. Be enriched, be encouraged, and be excellent.
All right, thank you, Keisha. Up next, we have the hot topic. B Squad's in the building on What They Don't Tell You Podcast.
What They Don't Tell You Podcast.
Hey, listeners, if you missed any episodes or you just want to catch up on some, we have a YouTube channel now. So check us out on YouTube at WTDTY Podcast, all right? WTDTY Podcast at YouTube.com. And we're back on What They Don't Tell You Podcast. This is the hot topic of the day. The hot topic of today is racism in the industry. Now, this is an important topic, especially for what's going on in the world right now, with a lot of the violence through law enforcement, with civilians, and all across the country. We're seeing how Black people are treated in law, when it comes to police. But today we want to talk about not just that topic, but the issue of racism. And what we're dealing with in the film industry, because what you guys have to understand is that these films aren't just films for entertainment or for enjoyment. These films are actually education.
Yeah, definitely.
Knowledge.
Yeah,
people actually learn stuff through visual.
Yeah, through film.
Right. And so
that's why a lot of people, books to film.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we have to understand, because it's the psychology aspect of it. I was telling Keisha earlier that I was looking at something online where they were dealing with the aspect that the way that they actually set programming in play is that it controls the way you think, your movements, your characteristics.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you come to feel is yours really isn't yours, because it's programmed to feel that way.
Okay.
And we have to understand that a lot of times when we're dealing with the psychology of the mind and our senses that deal with entertainment, whether it's dancing because it's moving your body, right? When it comes to food, it's, our taste buds is telling you what's good, what's not good, even though it may not be healthy for you, it still tastes good, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So each part of our senses has a very powerful point in the industry that deals with it. So when we're talking racism and we're talking about film, we're talking about visual, where just because a film, cats will go down the street looking at Asians a certain way because in the film he treated a Black person a certain way from Don't Be a Menace, or Menace to Society. You know what I'm saying? Just different stereotypes like that. But,
right. No, I know what you're talking about. And the thing about it is the whole racism in the industry thing is what I've noticed is I hate that a lot of great roles have happened for, people of color or Black people or Spanish people. They played roles that are just so dynamic and so diverse, and then still they get no award for it. And then the moment that they actually, do a role that is just some grimy, I'm gonna murder you, or do something just real grimy, they're like, oh, we'll give you an award for that, or you get naked. You know what I'm saying? It's I just feel that that's so messed up, because racism, I feel like in this country, it's just part of the fabric of it. And until this country can actually admit that it's just embedded in the fabric of it, we will not change it.
Right.
We have to destroy that fabric. We have to rip that all up and start from scratch. And they don't want to do that.
No.
They don't want to break this system down to the scratch of it, because then the new fabric will no longer be in it. Because I'm telling you, the way the world's looking, DJ and Keisha, it's looking like these millennials and people from our generation and a lot of folks are just fed up.
Yeah,
Just fed up.
Right. Tired is definitely the line now. There's so many people, you've been feeling this, you've been seeing this, you've been watching this, you've been hearing this. So you're talking about the senses already, right?
Yes,
So that's
definitely.
already 3 of the senses.
Right.
And because of all of that, it's that manifestation to be like, enough is enough. I can't take it anymore. Something has to be done.
Right.
And it's the combination of all of those that's forcing people to say now actions have to be taken.
Right.
Now the interesting thing is how that's been panning out as far as positive actions versus negative actions. Are there agitators? Are there people who are conspiring to still try to control the narrative? So for people who are saying, oh, okay, these riots are happening because of the protests, or that it's just black people doing this. Whereas, Keith, you were telling me about some of the stories from overseas.
Yeah.
Where
Like
it's
there's
not.
there's people in London holding up George signs and saying
Right.
Black Lives Matter. Like
Right.
the thing that I'm just loving so much is that I'm not even gonna say white people. I'm just saying all human beings are
Yeah.
starting to stand together.
Yep.
Right.
But you see that
In
it's
unity.
not just black people out there.
No.
anymore.
Your
There's
allies actually
Right.
out there.
It's our allies.
Our
out there.
allies
And I'm
out
so
there.
happy to see that we're actually starting to get it. That
But that's
we're
the
humans.
solution, though.
Yeah.
That's the solution. I feel like so long the solution has always been, the oppressed has to tell the oppressor how the oppressor oppressed the oppressed.
Right.
That's deep.
And now it's like, okay, so now you can't say that you're the oppressed. This already happened, but I don't need to tell you that it happened. You, as an ally, need to be able to tell each other. So allies tell allies. So as a community, we go and we now strive
And the
to
beauty
solve
of it
this
is,
problem.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the beauty of it is I was watching YouTube, and what we don't
YouTube
understand
University.
is that it's a change coming. Where now we're getting knowledge and information about the realness of what's going on a different format of television. You see what I'm saying?
It's not straight from the
because
news now.
30, 40 years ago, it was just TV that we only knew stuff. So
And whatever
if you
was
were
dictated
if you
to
were
you.
really a racist, it was only based off of what you saw and what you could see in your neighborhood. But now you can see what's happening in London. You can see what's happening in Japan. You can see what's happening in Africa.
can
So now
watch a
your
snuff
perspective
film.
is, they don't look at us that way, or I thought they were this. You feel what I'm saying? Or
Right. Yeah,
even
yeah.
even in Texas or California,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying, we're starting to see
We're
a
way
difference
more
to where
connected.
mainstream media will tell us one thing, film will tell us another thing, and then when we go to social media, it shows you the real, and that's becoming the new norm of TV.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd have to say, like, the thing with social media is you have to be very cautious with that because there can also be, you can't take anything at face value.
That fake news.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like when someone is streaming live and you watch a snuff film or you
Right.
watch someone die and it's
Right.
live, it's a live feed from their phone to the internet.
Right.
It's like, how can you look the other way? How can you not be completely like, this is what it is and
Right.
there ain't no way around it?
Right.
So I feel like as long as we're all making sure that we're doing the correct research, when we see something, always go try to see if there's another source or is there
Right.
another.
True.
There's
Right.
you have to make sure that you keep your knowledge up.
Right.
That's
right. And one of the things, going back to whole misperception of Hollywood, that I thought was important to talk about is that a lot of times we always think about the African American community being perceived in Hollywood as wrong or affected or hurt or whatever. But I just want to talk about that we're not the only ones that did the blackface. They also did the Asians the same way. Yellow face. They consider them nerdy. You know what I'm saying? They always got to know martial arts. Right?
That's true.
They all look the same.
The way you see it in the
Yeah,
movies.
they
Right?
used to do that a lot in
Yeah,
movies. Like, yeah, for sure.
And then we have just, of course, in our culture, the black culture, but I want to go on the other ones other than black culture, right?
Right.
Okay.
Latinos, fiery characters with one single country. You got the spicy Latina, the Latin lover.
Yeah.
Latino is brown, dashing Hispanic. Stereotypes.
The telenovela types. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got the Germans. The Germans are always Nazis or scientists. It's funny because they always, when it comes to those types of cultures, they want to focus more on what they've been perceived as in the past. Like, in other words, We know in political history about Germans and what they've been through, but that's all they are looked at as. Like you said, the Nazis and all these different things, when there's a whole nother side of Germany you don't even know.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, don't you think it's strange that, like in Germany, like a Nazi flag, it's illegal to have like those up?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Really?
you can't have those flags flying. You can't be like talking about Nazi stuff. That's
Right.
illegal.
Yeah, that's not.
And like in America, like they still praise like
Right.
a lot of the tarnishments that happened in this country, like Confederate flags or certain statues of generals and stuff.
because
it's like,
of historical purposes.
yeah, but
so they claim.
But that's an ugly part of history. Why would you want to uphold
Right.
it? You know?
But then on the beautiful aspect of history, if you look at, I think it was Belgium, they actually have a flag with a sister on it with hoop earrings. You know what I'm talking about? Like I saw. I can I don't know the exact background of the flag, but off top. But I thought that was amazing because they acknowledged that there were kings and queens, black kings and queens, in their history.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, you don't hear that every day. Another one is the British. They're evil. They're mean. They're classy.
This is all from the
uptight.
article, right?
What?
Yeah, this is stuff that I'm talking about from.
These are like stereotypes.
Oh yeah,
art-
the
yeah.
stereotypes. I was like,
These
TJ,
stereotypes
we
that they've
just
been known for.
turned.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're the ones who are fashionable.
True.
Nobody else is but the British. They are fashionable. Like,
Fashion forward. Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? Russia, tough or scientists or dancers. That's funny.
Huh.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
funny.
I didn't know the
you
one
think of
about
Russian
dancing.
ballet.
Yeah.
Ballet.
I mean, they do have a good background in
Yeah.
when it comes to dancing, modern dancing.
Is it most ballet or?
ballet? Yeah.
It is hard.
Mm-hmm.
But these are, I guess, you're saying these are all stereotypes that they make people uphold, I guess, in
the
the
films.
Hollywood, like on the scene.
Right.
Like, if you play that role, then that's going to be.
That's
your character.
probably what you're going for. Like if you're a Russian coming straight from Russia and being put in the industry, these are the kind of things they're gonna look for you to play, right?
Right.
As
Right.
far you know what I mean, even in as far as African Americans, there's gonna be a certain stereotype role that you're gonna have to play: a thug, right? A slave,
A pimp,
right?
Or the hoe.
drug
right.
dealer, or the hoe.
A deadbeat dad,
Yep.
struggling mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just all these different stereotypes. There was one film I can't think. I can't remember the name of it. There was the first black film, and I wanted to bring this up in a second. I'm gonna look for it, but you guys keep talking because I wanted to look for it because I want y'all to hear the story of this film and realize that this is the type of films I'm talking about where we don't have films like this
A
come out.
Fool and His Money.
It was like the very first
Black film. Oh, this
black
is,
film.
No, this is black and white. Sorry.
No,
Good try.
it's black and white.
and
No,
white.
I'm trying to find it for you, DJ. Was this like the first, I guess, independent black film or?
Just I think it was the first film in Hollywood from a black artist. And it basically what it dealt with was I think it was dang, I can't remember, but I'm gonna find it. But just give me y'all inputs on, you know what I mean, the concept of stereotypes. How am I tripping that movies really carry a major weight when it deals with the racism in the world, not just America, but in the world?
Yeah. You're not, well, sorry. No, you're not crazy.
Okay,
because
thank
yes,
you.
it
I was
does
like,
happen.
dang,
I was like, well, yeah, you're crazy. No. It really truly does happen because when you're thinking about what you see and how that compares to what you experience.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that you have never experienced before, then getting caught up in the movie magic and the make-believe and all of that, it's easy for you to see it and start to believe that that is truth. And then if you have that compiled from a movie to similar characters that you see on TV shows,
right.
And then you compare that to the media and your news feeds, and then to your social media, again, not having personal experiences, and that's all that you have, it's easy for those things to influence how you believe life should be, how those people would be, how that culture actually lives.
Okay. Well, I actually looked it up for you, DJ.
Okay.
It looks like the first black filmmaker in America was, read his last name for me, Keisha. Oscar what? What's his last name?
Oscar Devereaux Michaud.
Michaud, is how I would say that? Michaud.
Okay.
He would be the first. The film he released was January 2nd, 1884.
Michaud.
Mijou.
Okay.
Oscar Mijou.
What was the film about?
He was an African-American author, film director, and independent producer of more than 44 films. Although short-lived, Lincoln Motion Pictures Company was the first movie company owned and controlled by black filmmakers.
Wow.
Mijou is regarded as the first major African-American feature filmmaker, a prominent producer of race film, and has been described as the most successful African-American filmmaker of the first half of the 20th century.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Does it have a list of his films on there?
He did.
And it said that he even produced silent and sound film. So that's really cool because a lot of people don't even think about that. You know, there was movies that did not have voice.
Right.
And then when the talkies came along, now all of a sudden there were voices. And I was like, DJ, you could probably attest to this because I feel like some of our students sound like they're doing the talkies.
You're right.
Like how bad those voices were in comparison to the sound.
Oh my God.
Just hearing how some people just act, and I am acting right now for you.
Right.
And you're like, what just happened?
It's
Because
like,
that was horrible.
are we stuck in the past? Like,
like
you know, we've evolved now.
You know, we can actually see you also, right? You know, so
to name a few of his films one was The Homesteader, Within Our Gates, which was a response to Birth of a Nation.
Ooh.
Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
Birth of a Nation. So he actually did a response to that. These were silent films as well. He did a lot of stuff with a mixed race school teacher. Okay, and a flashback. So yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
Sharecropper, like I guess he made a few movies.
So he was doing films about realistic situations that
real
weren't
life,
necessary.
Right.
It wasn't a stereotype. It was just modern, like living.
It was what was happening.
That
You
was
feel what I'm
present
saying?
day,
Like,
present
yeah,
day versions
it wasn't a
of the
drug
people.
dealer. It wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying that. I know we didn't have those type of stereotypes back then.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that we actually saw films where it was just natural, positive living. Creating a film that way.
Okay,
where
I see what you're saying.
I can be a garbage man working 40-something hours, 50 hours a day, and trying to be a father and trying to raise kids and actually make a great film about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be he gets mad, divorces his wife, and now he's a single father, or his son gets killed in the streets, and now he's got to... You know what I'm saying? Because that's the stuff we have to portray that life is really about, when a lot of us never actually
went through that.
Yes.
Or had
you know
to deal with that.
Very true.
Yeah.
You know?
Very true.
Yeah. And I was like, it's not the reality, quote unquote, that you see on film and through media is not everyone's reality.
Right.
It's one shade of gray. You know, like it's one shade of red or blue or black or whatever we're portraying. It's just one shade of that. And there's so many different colors that come together that can be represented under each pigment.
Right. And I don't want people to think that we're not sensitive to the issues that are going on in society. But what we're saying is that a way to change is to show a different outlet. Like, we can change things by showing another positive way to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
If we're constantly putting out films that are about this violence, why can't we create a different avenue of film that shows, look, it doesn't have to be this way, or you don't have to look at these people this way, because there are some Asians, Germans, Latinos that are different from this, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, not all African people have an attitude or act like they're better than, because this is some of the stuff people talk about, Africans act like they're better than us, or this kind of thing, or they hate black people in America, or no, actually.
But I feel like that's a stereotype.
Thank you.
That they've built,
Right.
Because I've met
And
plenty
it's
of African
perpetuated.
people.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just a way to divide and conquer once
Right.
again, man.
Right.
The more they keep us separated, the better off it is for them and less for us.
Right. That's right. And we always got to remember that, art imitates life. But once again, like we said before, life imitates art.
So
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
So true.
And we have to be aware of that. Now, another thing that I want to speak about is, there are lawsuits that are happening to Hollywood or to the industry because of their stereotypeness. I don't know if that's a word, but we're gonna use it today.
Right.
Okay.
I remember watching a documentary that talked about how the Middle East is having issues with Hollywood. I shouldn't say Middle East. I should say the Muslim or Islamic culture.
Okay.
Because they've been depicted as terrorists, but it first started in film. I mean, we saw it in the Native Americans. What cowboys and Indians?
Yep.
Why was the Indians always the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
True.
We've seen this situation, and the one with the Islamic and Muslim culture, they're suing because of that. Because when we first thought about when we first think about terrorism, honestly,
What does it look like?
Right.
Yeah.
We directly go there, and let's not be ignorant people that it's just film, because media and television has a way of putting that in as well. Because that's a form of television as well. That's a form of performance as well. And we have to understand that. And we got to talk about this now, because we're getting to a point where things are evolving. People aren't stupid anymore. People are waking up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like we was talking about the other night, my grandfather, if my grandfather was alive and to be able to see some of this stuff, he'd be the happiest man in the world. Because they grew up in that era where all these crookedness, all this bad stuff was happening. But there was no information. There was no outlet to show you that this is not real. You know what I'm saying? Or the films that we watched. There was
no way to actually see it.
You know what I'm saying?
There was no way to actually see the person get murdered firsthand.
Right.
Yeah.
Back then, it's all they just knew it happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Back then, like our great grandparents and great grand aunts and stuff, they all saw it and knew that it happened for sure. But because that man said that it didn't happen, and they were considered less than a man, then nothing happened.
Right.
And they just knew that it happened, and no one else in the world knew.
Yeah.
And that's why, DJ, I really think the very devices that they've given us to watch us, for us to give them information, have now turned against them.
Yeah.
The very same devices
right.
that they're using to watch us has now turned into a device that all you have to do is go to your video mode, and now, DJ, you're a reporter. You're reporting. Doesn't matter.
Live, on camera,
Live.
happening right
Exactly.
now. Right now.
I want to shoot a film. Like, I can shoot a film, and now I can send it out to festivals.
Yep.
I can get people to support it, back it.
Yep.
All I got to do is just put a GoFundMe page up.
Yep, basically.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put it out there on social media. Hey, I'm doing a film. Like me and Keisha. One of our friends of ours, Caleb. Sorry, Caleb. I can't remember Caleb's last name, but young gentleman, Spencer Films, I think that's the name was. He came to us about a project about Emmett Till.
Yeah.
And we jumped on, said, yo, we're down. Now, of course, we got shut down because of quarantine situations. And with the day of shooting, we got shut down. It was horrible. It sucked because we had everything ready to go.
Yeah.
But we're not going to stop.
No, that story is still going to get told.
It needs to come out.
Get told.
Right.
It has to get told. Absolutely.
And it's crazy because we seen celebrities talking about it after the fact that we were working on shooting it.
Yeah.
We see celebrities talking about it on TV, talking about nobody's done an Emmett Till story. We're like, yo, we got to hurry up. Like,
right.
Because I'm not
Bring
saying
it
there's not
forward.
one going to get done or it won't be just us, but I'm saying just the idea of that kind of work being put out.
Absolutely.
Because nobody's done it, you know. Yeah. There's so many stories out there of things that's happened in America's history. That they will not tell us or not talk about or cover up.
Definitely cover up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we're at a time now where ain't no covering up no more. It's time to actually now tell these stories. It's time to now, explain what's going on out here.
I like that both of you are kind of like really giving a perspective as far as how social media and the recording of live. How do I like the live attacks, the live murders, all of that stuff being live? Like I used to kind of feel that it was too much. So it was an article I was reading that came out where they're calling it trauma porn. Literally, like they're just putting it out there for the gratification of someone to see. But the way that you guys have both talked about it is it's more than just. It's getting the information out there so that people know that the story can't be twisted and changed.
Exactly.
And although people are going to look at the edits and be like, okay, well, this was doctored or this was edited or whatever. When it's live and you can link up 25 lives all at the same time and they're all showing the same thing you can't sit there and say that story is any different than what you saw.
Right. Exactly.
I saw there was one time on Instagram I saw where there was white people actually creating a barricade for black people so that the police officers
But then I saw
wouldn't mess
one
with
with
them.
black people making a barricade for some cops.
Yeah, yep. So
Because
that they
he-
won't
because
get
he
hurt.
got-
Man, come on.
Yeah,
He
but
got
let the
separated from
media
his
tell
squad.
it.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean that's just it, man. Like, who knows? That cop may have actually known some of those people and
Come
been
on.
like, "Yo, you good?
Policing
You
in
gotta
your
get
own
out of here."
communities.
I got family
You know?
members who are cops.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
about to be go out here riding and go slap my uncle because just because
Right.
of the badge. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
we have to be logic. It's not saying that I don't believe there's bad cops. There are bad cops, but we have to understand there are some cops out here that are like, look, y'all right, they wilding, and I'm not a part of it.
Yeah.
So what we gonna do about it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's
That's
cops.
some-
I've seen cops helping out, civilians. Like, come on, let's get up out of here. Let's get you home. And then there's some
Something's
that are
gotta
pulling
be
people
done.
out the car, like get out,
Yeah,
for no
something's gotta
reason.
be done for sure.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you keep saying with that division.
Right.
That division.
Divide and conquer. But I mean,
Right.
you have to, millennials ain't buying it.
Man.
I'm sorry, man. Like, I really feel that the next race, there's so many mixed babies walking around. There's so many little mixed babies out there.
Right.
Think about how many mixed babies you see every
Yeah,
day. Think
yeah.
about how many mixed people you see every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, these millennials and the generation after them, they're not buying that black and white shit at all.
Well, they
They're not
don't.
buying
They
it.
don't have to because they actually have the resources to get knowledge.
Yeah, very
That
true.
as like with knowledge comes true power. That's been the missing piece this whole time. Like that's what we've been talking about is how you couldn't see it.
Right.
You had to hear about it, and if someone wasn't telling that story, then you never heard it.
Right.
Right?
That's why it changed with Emmett Till, because they could see it.
Yes.
It was in the newspaper. They took a picture of that
Wow,
boy
and that
and
was
showed
just a
it.
photo.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was just a photo. But
Yep.
so many people saw that photo, and when they saw it, they said, "Oh hell no!
Right.
Yeah, there's no way.
That was unnecessary." Just like this whole year, pretty much from what we've seen so far, it's been a whole lot of unnecessary things happening.
True.
Yeah.
And they keep trying to just cover it
Cover
up
it
and
up.
dust it over and make
Yeah.
it seem like it's not that. But you can definitely see that they are trying to strong arm the public right
Right.
now. And I'm so happy that white, black, Asian, all of us, I'm so happy that at least we're banding together and
Right.
saying enough is enough.
And there are people that are also taking advantage of the situation where they want to create a narrative of violence that a certain type of race is doing when it's not even. And what I mean by that, we have to pay attention to those who are rioting and their reasons for it. Some are out there because they really feel that we're being treated with injustice, right?
Right.
But some are out there just to do it because they want to create violence.
Agitators.
Don't care whether or not George Floyd or any of the other victims have been through.
Yeah.
They just want to cause havoc.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? To divert from real issues that are going on today that we're saying the people who aren't about violence. Like, because, perfect example, Keith, I think you said earlier, a lot of people said downtown, went to protest,
Yeah.
left, and then there was a whole set of new people that came in and started
Yeah.
rioting. You feel what I'm saying?
And
Like,
it just mixed it in.
right.
It made it to where when what the media was showing, it was just people.
Yep.
Right.
So they were like, yeah, that's the protest. No.
And it was
No.
easy to change the narrative in that standpoint.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
To just say
Oh, yeah, for sure.
it was a protest that turned into a riot. No, protest was over.
Come on.
Right?
All the
protest
protesters,
had
yes.
ended.
There were people
had
down
gone
there with their
home.
kids.
It had
Right.
been peaceful.
It was very peaceful.
Right.
They did the march. They made their point. They spoke. They sang together.
Yeah.
Like, and then they were like,
And
all right,
then
let's go home.
And then the second shift came in. Like,
I'm telling you, yeah.
Not even second shift. Not
Those-
second shift.
those-
Just
second shift came in
was-
losing
just
their
people who
minds.
missed the protest.
Right.
Those are
right.
people that were sitting at home like, bro, we coming up tonight.
Right.
We
That's
gonna
not
mix
enough,
in with that
yeah.
protest.
Yep.
And we gonna go down there and get some
It's not
TVs,
enough.
some sneakers.
It was too quiet.
And it's like, it's crazy. to
I got
me.
some things I want to say with a bet.
Nah, see, it's bad news, man, and that I think it's kind of ruining what
Now,
was done all day.
I can only imagine how
Identical.
many films are about to come out about this type of topic. Whether it's being about the rioting, whether it's being about the actual incident, or whether it's being about the topic of how many more do we have to go through,
Yeah.
right? Because but not only that, I really think this is going to happen. We're going to start hearing stories about it's not just being about black people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean,
That's
I've been
already
seeing
happening.
videos of people in Asian countries,
Yeah.
or Japan, I think, or China.
Fighting.
People are being pulled out of their homes and never being seen again.
Wow.
Pulled out of their homes and never be seen again because of the injustice that's going on, right? Even though there's some countries that they don't even allow guns, but Oh, there's some other weapons they'll use just to prove their point. But I've also seen video of people who are like police officers that actually have, the shields that they use to barricade,
right?
Have started throwing them in piles, walking away, saying, "I'm not a part of this."
I saw that one.
Protesting against the violence.
Because they were just against the amount of force used.
That's right. But before we get out of here, first and foremost, I just want to say our prayers go out to the families of the Floyd family. Our prayers go out to any victims who have been a part of such injustice and deaths.
Arbery, everybody.
Yeah,
man,
everybody.
Everything that's gone down this year.
Yeah. But we also want to say that everyone out there across the world continue to wake up, like continue to want to, fight for the right that we have as citizens of this world. To find justice, to find peace, to live together in harmony, because at the end of the day, once again, I'll say it again, these are issues that are trying to be, that are caused to try to keep us divided. But we have to unite, have to come together, because once again, for me in particular, I think it's about power and ranking in this world. It's not about so much the color, it's about, because we're little pawns to these people in a big game. You know what I mean? But that's just my input. But that's all the time we have for the hot topic. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Once again, if you have anything that you want to, any feedback or any input, man, just hit us up. Let us know, okay? Up next, man, we got Keith with the real. All right, B Squad in the building on What They Don't Tell You podcast.
What's on your mind? We know there are topics that you want to hear and things that you're already talking about. Well, why not tell us at WTDTYglobal@gmail.com. We can use what you have to say on the air.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
What's up? It's your boy Keith Vance. Let me tell you a story about something that happened to me.
It was another day that Keith would need a ride from his mother. This day would not be like any day before when he got a ride and argued with his mother about gas, time, his life, and any other thing his mother wanted to speak on. As they walk up to the minivan, you can already hear them going at it.
Can you hurry up, Mom?
Don't rush me, Keith. Had you gotten up earlier, you wouldn't be late.
Mom, I know. God, I am trying, please.
Well, it was only a suggestion, Keith.
No, Mom. You say this to me 5 days a week.
Well, I could not just take you to your job,
Can we just go? I'm gonna be late.
Well, can I get in the car, Keith? Look, don't start with me today. I am not in the mood.
Yes, Mother.
Now, just to get you up to speed, this is a 1-hour drive, and Mom has to make it 2 times a day and some nights. It can get late when Keith gets off work. Now, Mom is a very religious person, and she don't curse, she don't drink, she don't smoke, she don't even have sex. Now that they're on the road, let's hear what they're up to.
Look, Keith, I can't be doing this much longer, taking this drive downtown. You really need to get it together.
Mom, I know. I'm really thankful that you're helping me, and I'm working on it.
Well, Keith, you've been saying that, baby, but I know you going through it. But I can't really be doing this much longer.
Yes, Mom, I know. I said I can give you gas money, and once again, I'm working on it.
Now, this is what the ride is like most days. Not today. Today, Keith forgot who he was talking to and said a few things that, let's get back to the minivan and see how they're doing on this 1-hour drive.
Look, Mom, I said I'm working on it. Shit!
Look, who are you talking to?
Mom?
Hello?
Wait a minute.
Who are you talking to, son?
Oh, my God.
Who are you talking to, Keith? Who are you talking to?
Get some dick or something. What the fuck?
At this point, Keith has made a very, very vital mistake with the words he has chosen to use. Her face red as the dickens, she looks at him and... Tune in next week to see what happens.
What They Don't Tell You.
What They Don't Tell You.
What They Don't Tell You podcast.
All right, well, we're at the end of the show. We want to thank you guys for joining us today on What They Don't Tell You podcast. Great episode today, right, guys?
Yes. So
great topics and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah. And don't forget, guys, you can catch us weekly, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, and 6 p.m. international, okay? On Live 365, Anthem Tongue Radio, okay? We want to thank all you guys listening. Thank you for putting the global in WTDTY, all right? Well, till next time, we are your hosts, DJ Mifflin.
Keisha Williams.
And Keith Dance.
And we are the B Squad. All right, we see you again. B Squad's in the building.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
Yeah, child.